Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, it's 9:30, and it's time to go behind the hedges. I'm Mitch as always, and tonight my good buddy Mr. Ducati has had a little bit of the COVID vaccine whipping his hiney tonight. So I'm joined by our resident Field of Streams Aggie, Mr. Caleb. You want to introduce yourself? Tell these fine folks who you are and what you're about.
Caleb, I've been a lifelong Aggie fan. Ever since our troubled days in the Little 10, that's what I like to call the Big 12 now. The Big 12 days when we had Reggie McNeil. Stephen McGee was one of my favorite quarterbacks, Ryan Tannehill. So you'll hear me reference, if anybody knows me, y'all know that I'm a big Aggie fan. So it's great to be on the stream. I appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to have you here because I'll tell you, Aggies are hard to come by around these parts, especially where Ducati and I are right now. But we're glad to have some representation there. Okay, here it goes. He put his name beside it, so the man wants to own it. There, you can have it. All right, who is this redneck? Oh gosh. Anyways, so so Aggies, yeah. So we're talking about Texas A&M tonight, and should we go ahead and take a look at some graphics real quick? Let's get Josh Suggs here, old buddy of mine, and Ducati's back from the day. Let's go here. Hey Josh, what's happening, buddy? Welcome to the show. Yep, and you got some love from Caleb there. All right, cool.
That's
All
my
right.
boy.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate you. So let me say this to the people at home. If you're watching this right now, and you need to drop us a like, you need to leave us a comment, you need to most of all subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends. If you think that you have people in your lives who are Dogs fans or Aggies fans or any SEC football team fans that would get a kick out of this, please share it. It'll really help us out a lot. We enjoy doing this, and we're not doing this for any money yet. Maybe someday when we're getting big or whatever. But we just want to get out there and chat with folks. But if it weren't for the sharing, I wouldn't have ever been hooked up with this guy here, Caleb. And again, I'm glad you were able to fly passenger seat with me tonight. So anyhow, let's take a look at what we're getting into here. So last year, A&M went 9-1, had a great season, early season loss to Alabama, and really that was the only stumble for the rest of the year. You guys basically cruised through the rest of your schedule, and dude, I'm just being completely honest with you. I felt like at the end of the season, A&M was one of the best 4 teams in the country, and I feel like had you guys gotten a crack at Notre Dame, I think you guys would just be beating them senseless, to be honest with you. But that it is what it is, and you guys are right there. We certainly, as Dog fans, we certainly know how it feels to get that snub late in the season. But anyway, you guys have some things to look forward to coming into next year. Even though you had a 9-1 season, and there's not a lot of room to move up from there, but you guys are getting you had the number 4 recruiting class in the SEC for 2021, and in that recruiting class, you guys have 5.
Let me just add that number 4 SEC class, mind you, the top 3 were in the top 5, I think. So at the top 5 in the nation. So you got 4 SEC teams taking.
I think you guys were 7th in the nation.
Yeah,
so
7th in the nation.
Four teams in the top 7. That yeah, that's not bad. So it's like we were talking about that on another stream earlier. It's like if you have a top 10 recruiting class, that doesn't mean anything in the SEC. If you have a top 10 recruiting class, that means you're 5th in the conference, or maybe 6th in the conference.
Facts.
So, but you guys came in number 4. But here's what's really interesting is that 5 of your recruits, am I reading this right? 5 of your recruits were 4-star or greater defensive linemen. Is that it? So I'm turning this off for a second. Is this what we can expect the flavor of the Aggies to be in the future? Is Jimbo trying to stock? Because I know you guys had a tremendous run defense last year. I think y'all were second in the conference in rush defense. And how did you finish in pass defense? Do you remember? Y'all had a very
I think
solid
we were
pass.
third. I think we were third in pass defense.
Okay, so pretty good.
Us first overall in the SEC. We had statistically the best defense in the SEC, which is not, that ain't no small ball.
Right. I remember Kentucky had a tremendous pass defense last year. Who was the other one? Mississippi State had a tremendous pass defense, but Georgia was number one in rush. But you guys were like 2 and 3.
I think they averaged like 72 yards a game, and A&M averaged 93 yards given up.
Both teams averaged less than 100 yards on the ground against them. That's pretty good, right? The good thing for us as dog fans is like all those guys in that front seven are all back this year, and good luck. It's gonna be hell running through them. But you told me that your entire defensive secondary is back, right?
Entire secondary.
So you guys,
we run so I don't know if y'all know anything about A&M defense, but A&M's defense has been known to be doo-doo. Hold on, Caleb's trolling me real quick. He likes my hat. Thank you, Caleb. Anyways, so Mike Elko, we stole him from Notre Dame a few years back. I think this is his third year. Jimbo was able to steal him. He's been absolutely a blessing in disguise. I think he's one of the top paid coordinators in the nation, if not the top paid defensive coordinator in the nation. He deserves every single bit of that dollar.
Wow.
When he came in, we had one of the worst. I think when he came in, we had the 9th ranked defense in the SEC. And within a matter of 2 or 3 years, I think last year we were the 4th or 5th best. And then this year we had the best yards per game given up. It just goes to show that.
So he's making some strides and putting you guys where you want to be. So you guys are losing. Is it Buddy Johnson? Is he the stud linebacker?
Buddy Johnson, buddy boy. Yeah, we're losing him. We'll be losing Bobby Brown as well on the defensive line. Bobby Brown was a significant player on our defensive line. Unfortunately, I never bought into his hype when he was a recruit. But Buddy Johnson, what a story. He wasn't even supposed to be a significant player when he came to A&M. It's no disrespect to him, but I mean, our linebackers were hurting. We had at the time in 2014, 2015, the ending of the Kevin Sumlin era, our linebackers were a joke. So when Elko came in, he went to the 4-2-5 to where we would. Why run a 4-3 if you only have one or two good linebackers?
Right there, yeah. Why not? Yeah.
So yeah, we're losing Buddy Johnson and Bobby Brown. Buddy Johnson had the leading tackles, I think, 2 years in a row for A&M.
Yeah, I was looking at some stats earlier. He was number one with a bullet. Like he was clearly a productive player. So how will you recover from that? Is that going to be a big loss for you, or how does the defense look moving forward?
I hate to say it, but I still ain't sold on our linebackers. I ain't been sold on our linebackers since Datton Wynn. Okay, anybody? Hey, the wrecking crew till I die. I mean, our linebackers have been talented. They've shown they've had top games. They've had shining moments, but Anthony Hines was a good recruit coming in. Buddy Johnson was a stud for us. I'm worried about our linebacking crew, but if Elko can get it together, which I believe he can, I think we'll be all right. Defensively, we're going to be stacked. I mean,
yeah. So you guys have at least 8 starters coming back and possibly 9. You may know more about this more than I do, but I did see an article where there was one guy who was waffling between whether he was coming back or not. So, but if you say 9, I believe what you say.
The last thing I had read, I made sure I looked it up earlier, and that was in like mid-February. We were going to be having 9 come back. He wasn't going to be going to the draft. I'm just A&M's. I thoroughly believe to every ounce of my bone, A&M's going to be a defensive team next year, and you will not be seeing a lot of offensive production. We'll get into that here in a second.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's just go ahead and hit it. So returning, we said that the 8 defensive starters are coming back. We'll go ahead and say 9. I'll go ahead and chalk that up. And you guys are getting your skill players back offensively. Who's the Anias guy? What's his name?
Anias Smith. I
like him.
I'll tell you one thing. He is. I believe I think last year he got the utility MVP of the SEC.
Yeah, he's like the Swiss Army knife of college football.
Yeah, I mean, he's a stud. He returns our punts, our kicks. I got his stats right here. Last year, he had 49 rushes for 293 yards and 4 touchdowns, which wasn't too bad considering we had a 1,000-yard rusher in 10 games. Mm-hmm. And he led the team with 43 receptions and 564 yards. He had the most yards on the team, 6 touchdowns. I think the past 2 years, he has come close to eclipsing that 1,000-yard overall yard mark. I don't count return yards as much. I mean, I don't count return yards. I think you should be averaging 20 on a return easy for kick return. But he's definitely a stud. He lines up in the slot, and I don't know if y'all remember Speedy Noyle, but Speedy Noyle used to line up in our slot, and he reminds me of him, except with a better head on his shoulders.
When I watch him, he reminds me. We had a guy, Isaiah McKenzie, a few years ago. He reminds me a lot of that style of player. Oh gosh, what was the guy? It'll come to me, and then I'll just randomly blurt out some guy's name. But yeah, and we got something here. Something's brewing. There's trouble afoot.
Got him.
This
what
guy.
What it is.
I'm trying to see if you've grown a third arm, sir. Have you not? Oh no.
Well, how's it going?
It's we're doing all right, sir. We're crawling through this Aggie muck right now.
Texas A&M, huh?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know, I read a lot.
Hey, look, y'all are both Georgia fans, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and say this.
Caleb, look at Caleb.
A&M had one of the most disappointing games in, was it 2018, when they lost 19-13 against Georgia. All right, y'all ran the game. Don't get me wrong. The tempo of the game was ran by y'all.
When was this?
But
2 years ago.
Yeah, they lost 19-13. We were supposed to lose 19-6, but we scored in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter. Hey, 2022, I think we're coming for you, man. I think that's going to be the year. We might smack you in the mouth.
Y'all came to Athens. And that was during the great regression of Jake Fromm. And I remember telling Mitch, I'm a little worried about this because y'all were like making a little bit of noise. That A&M was that team like you weren't scared of, but you ain't really trying to play them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking for you. Here they come, and Fromm is like in all of his glory of backpedaling, whatever he had, like he shit out in the pot, and I'm like, oh god, them both are gonna come in here and get one, and y'all made it close. Like, it was not a fun game to watch, but I do read a lot, and here's what I've read about y'all this year. And I have to apologize. I mean, A&M, I watch them. I know who you are. I just don't keep up with it. I'm glad you came on the show to shed some light because all I really got, and this is from y'all's site. If you've gone over this already, I don't mean to sound redundant. Y'all sound a lot like Georgia last year. It's either going to be a playoff run or it's like 7-6 with a bowl loss. I don't think there's going to be a middle ground. Now, I don't see, not with this defense y'all got coming back, 7-6 with a bowl loss. But playoff run, that kid at the quarterback position is going to have to put it together quick. Why are A&M fans saying, correct them if they're wrong, like, you lost 4 linemen, brand new quarterback. Got it. I read today that the wide receiver room is worrisome. Is that true?
The wide receiver room is worse?
Worrisome. They're not
and I'll say this is the reason why I say the wide receiver room might be a little bit worrisome. Is last year we had Jalen Weidermeyer, who's our tight end. He was second with receiving yards. A tight end. Our first was our utility player, Anaya Smith. And we didn't start getting into third, fourth, fifth was when receivers were, right? But that being said, I like our receiving core. All right. We don't have Ricky Seals Jones, 5-star coming in, Speedy Noel, 5-star coming in, but we've got some solid 4-star recruit or previous 4-star recruits. Let me say this. Jalen Weidermeyer, our tight end, everybody knows how much Jimbo loves tight ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just go ahead and chalk that up. He's injured right now. He's missing spring ball. And I put him on my players to watch list because this is going to be his either breakout year or that injury is going to set him back. He's got an injured tendon in his hand. He's really hard to kind of guess if he's just being very translucent or not,
Mm-hmm.
But another one that got hurt last year that I was really loving was Caleb Chapman. All right. And I say this because he had nine receptions, 151 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Florida.
I remember this Chapman kid. I remember thinking, who the heck is this guy?
He came out of nowhere, dude.
And just was catching everything thrown at him.
He's 6'5", 195 pounds.
Yeah, tall, skinny.
He's a good outside receiver. He's got a knee injury last year in that Florida game, and right now he's missing spring ball. I think he's suiting up without pads. He's going through the motions, but he's not taking any hits. And there hasn't been too much leaked information as far as whether it's they're just being precautionary or if he's still actually injured. But our receiving core, man, honestly, I don't think our receiving core is going to matter because we got to figure out our quarterback situation.
Well, you make a point. If you ain't got a guy to deliver the mail, it don't matter how dirty your mailboxes are.
You can ask us if you want to know how that feels, buddy. We got plenty of mail. You need mail? We got a mailman. You can have it. In fact, we're going to transfer Stetson Bennett to y'all. You're welcome. You can send a check. I'm not going to put my address out there on the internet, but I'll get with you. You can have that hobbit little. I'm going to stop before I get heated. I don't talk to a lot of A&M fans, so I got a question to an A&M. I don't get to see a lot of y'all. Y'all a long way away from Pennsylvania. Now that the Mond era is over,
thank God.
What's your final thoughts on Kellen Mond?
Man, you want to talk about when he started to peak was in the Senior Bowl, the Reese's Senior Bowl, man. Come on, you want to wear my A&M helmet and you want to peek and show out and throw for 150 yards. Man, come on. His best game. My
COVID shot hurt. I think that just hurt him, and he's watching because he ain't got nothing else to do.
Man, he can load up. Bet I ain't. Man, and everybody's talking about. See, this is what everybody puts out. No, in all seriousness, everybody puts out. Gig'em 247. Rivals, all these sports people, they put out, Kellen Mond's losing the most. He's got he broke the record for the most passing yards in A&M history. First off, A&M
was it total yardage? Did he have total yardage also?
Yeah. Yes, he did. Which he's going to be wanting Mond. I don't believe so because Mond was inconsistent. Okay, I can have a consistent player and not just his sporadic moments, but he was inconsistent on his technique. Okay, his 3-drop step back, his throwing. I'll roast my own people. Robert Reynolds, he's going to be wanting Mond to come back at the season end. And no, I'm not. And I say that.
he is emphatic, folks. He is emphatic.
And what
Robert, put your cash app up there, man.
At the end of the year, he kind of got his crap together, but on the road for A&M, he was never great. At neutral games, he was meh, and home games he was all right. But his best road game was against Georgia, and he wasn't great. All right, we lost 19-13. So, am I sad that Mond's leaving? No, because our future is bright. Let me get into that. Haynes King, true sophomore. He went 37-2 in high school at Longview, right? If anybody knows Texas football, y'all know that Longview is one of the top 10 teams in Texas. That ain't no small boy football. That's smash mouth football.
I agree with you on anything you want to say about Texas football. It's legitimate. All right. There's a handful of states that play football, and Texas is one of them. And my guy,
nah, Reynolds,
look at this.
Nah, Reynolds, I ain't taking that bet because I'll tell you what I think we're gonna go here in a little bit. All right, I know we're gonna lose at least 3 games.
Oh my goodness gracious!
He has a confirmed 4.5 40.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that dude can run. Now our next in line, there's a quarterback competition that's going on between Zach Calzada and he's a redshirt sophomore from Beaufort, Georgia. Hello. No. Georgia boys, stand up.
That's North Georgia. That's North
Georgia. North Georgia don't count.
That's he's one of the Norteños.
He's from he played at Lanier High School. He's not the most talented, but he's got some zip on the ball. He can't run as much, but he's got some zip on the ball. And the only reason why he's being considered is because Jimbo really, really likes the way he throws the ball. Another quarterback that's getting a little bit of talk is 4-star recruit. Last year he was a freshman. He's gonna be a freshman this year. Eli Stowers. He played at Denton Geyer and he wasn't too bad. His stats aren't great, but we'll be all right in the quarterback.
Well, I want to ask you something. If you've seen this, when I was looking up Haynes King, I ran across something, and I got to scroll back here because I sent it.
I saw something about Haynes King too. I'm wondering if you're about to put up what I saw.
Yeah, well, I don't think I can add it to the stream, but it was maybe I can show it like this.
That's it. Yep.
Okay. So it's a comparison here, and I'll read these numbers to you, but it's a comparison between Haynes King and Justin Fields.
Man,
don't get too excited, okay?
No, I don't get excited or anything.
I ain't excited. Fields is overrated. What you mean excited?
Hopefully he can read a defense, unlike Mr. Fields. My cousin, let me just interject real quick because now you got me pissed off about Fields. I'll make it real fast and we'll get back to Caleb. My cousin, who's a Gump, he's a Bama. You know, God gave him football because he damn sure didn't give him nothing else, as Mitch likes to say. He sent a picture up of the 4th and 11 play, hardy ha 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 ha, from like Fields' point of view. You can plainly see an open freaking receiver in the middle of the field. Everybody can in the meme. You know who couldn't see it that night? Justin Fields.
Hey, in our quarterback battle, Haynes King.
Caleb Whitaker.
Haynes King is the front runner. If I had to put any money on it, Haynes King is a front runner, and I say this because he's got enough to throw the ball. He's early enrollee. He's got him and Calzada have just about the same amount of time in the play with the playbook under Jimbo's regime. But if we don't start Haynes King, man, we're gonna be 7-6 with a bowl loss. Okay.
So let's just assume that doesn't happen. Let's assume that Haynes King gets it and it just clicks. It's one of those seasons where a young guy just comes in and plays with his hair on fire. Okay, you got your defense, your quarterback works out, the line gels. You lost 4 offensive linemen. That's another concern. But let's just say that y'all go the other way. Can you beat Alabama this year?
Nope.
Okay. Fair enough.
No, we ain't beating Bama. Okay. Let me look at the schedule. I'll go into my schedule real quick.
Let me let's see. Did I leave anything off of this? Before we go to the schedule, I just want to ask a question because it came up earlier. 13 in the portal. There's 13 in the portal. That's a curious number.
For A&M?
For A&M, yeah.
Yeah.
Typically numbers like 13, 14, 15, numbers like that are reserved for teams like Tennessee, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and so I'm wondering what's up with that. Now pre-gaming, you had a comment about it. I don't know how serious you were, Caleb, but what any thoughts on that? Or
who were those people? I mean,
That was going to be my next question. Is it anybody of note?
Okay. There's 3 of note, and I say they're 3 of note because they were supposed to be able to provide depth, and they were supposed to be a sophomore, junior year, a junior, senior year starter, or role player. Okay, let me get into them. James Foster, dual threat quarterback. All right, he's going to college at Charleston. I think that's what that little logo is. He's in high school. He was a 4-star recruit, but he saw the writing on the wall, and the writing on the wall was Haynes King, sophomore. I mean, that's what our money's invested in, right? Then he saw Eli Stowers, 4-star recruit. Writing was on the wall for him. It's not unusual for A&M to lose a quarterback once every other year or 2 times in 1 year. Okay, Kyler Murray, Kyle Allen. The other one was Cam Brown, and I didn't know he was still transferring, but it looks like he's going to UCLA, and Dylan Wright. They're 2 receivers. I know Ducati mentioned it earlier. Our receiving core might be a little bit weak, but Dylan Wright, Cam Brown was good. I was excited about Cam Brown when he was a recruit. He was supposed to come in and play a significant role in our offense, but him and Mon never clicked, which led to his demise for A&M. I'm not too worried about it, and to be honestly, I hope Connor Blumrick, he was a good scout team player. He was a very, very good scout team player. But the only ones that are considerable to me because of our receiving core is Cam Brown and Dylan Wright. That takes away a little bit of our depth, but we're young. Okay. Let me say we had a freshman. So Caleb Chapman, we already talked about him, 6'5", right? Expect him to be significant. I think he's going to be a junior coming up this next year. Mm-hmm. All right. Devin Achane. I don't even know how to say his last name.
Yeah, Achane. I remember seeing him in the bowl game, running back.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
boy. Okay, when Isaiah Spiller got hurt, Achane stepped up and had 12 attempts for 140 yards against North Carolina.
Yeah,
he was the bowl game MVP. And Chase Lane, and ain't nobody heard of Chase Lane except Aggies. Okay, he had 29 receptions for 400 yards as a freshman. That's not anything great, but considering A&M's leading, receivers were Weidermeyer and Smith. Chase Lane led the offense as far as receivers. Him and Chapman both. So receiving, I hope we're able to get it in line, but I'm not too worried about it. We've got some 4-star, 3-star.
Looks like you guys are getting an offensive lineman too. Where is he coming from?
Yeah,
Tennessee.
Jameer Johnson, and he's actually got some reps under his belt. I think he played in 6 games. Okay, and considering,
I just love to see Rocky Top just burn to the ground.
Oh yeah.
Considering A&M lost 4 starting linemen, A&M needed that, and whether he's
that'll be a help for y'all. Yeah.
Whether he's a role player or whether he's a starter right out the block, I'm not sure. But I know he'll be able to provide some big man depth on that line.
Yeah.
That's the most thing of my concern for A&M's offense is our quarterback situation, which I think will balance itself out. Jimbo is very good about adapting a playbook or play style to his quarterbacks versus, our line struggling. Our line's going to be, if we ain't got a line, we can't run the ball. And last year we were running the ball on everybody.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. If you don't solve the problem of the offensive line, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you have back there. But let's take you said you mentioned the schedule, so let's take a peek at this real quick. So here's your 2021 schedule. Over here on the left side is your first 6 games. And let's just take them 3 at a time. So the first 3, Kent State, Colorado, and the Lobos down in Albuquerque. Man, right across the street from the stadium in Albuquerque, there is this delicious place that will serve you Navajo tacos, and it is tasty. The wife is New Mexican, and she isn't aware that colleges play football. So anyhow, I don't see you guys having a problem with any of these first three teams.
3-0, I think.
Yes.
Are y'all still there?
Yeah.
Okay. I was waiting for one of you to say something. I got them a 3-0. I mean, I'm not even thinking about these 3 games.
Oh, okay. I thought you said I think ...
No.
But yeah, I got 3-0.
Technical difficulties, folks.
Yeah, I got no problems going 3-0 with these first 3. Now looking at the next 3, I actually don't have any problems going 2-1 here. Now, Caleb, you mentioned that the Mississippi teams tend to did you say they tend to give you trouble, or they're just so weird they might give you trouble?
Man, I say A&M struggles against Mississippi teams. If I had to put money on a Mississippi team that we'd lose to next year, it'd be Ole Miss. I say that because I think Ole Miss is a little bit stronger, and we're going to be playing them in Oxford. Okay, so I think we'll sneak away with a win against Mississippi State. Show them that they're the little bulldogs of the SEC.
There you go.
And then I think we might struggle against Arkansas. Arkansas, for some reason,
That's my feel-good team. I'm telling y'all.
Arkansas always shows up to play when they play A&M. And they want to go, 0-12 every single year, but they want to give A&M a run for their money. Okay.
I'll pull it down for just a second. Just tell you, I don't know if you boys saw the news today, but Florida State had a wide receiver decommit.
Did not see that.
Where have I been? What is the kid's name? McAdoo. His last name is McAdoo, and he's Arkansan, and he has apparently decommitted from Florida State and is going to play for the Hogs. Anyhow,
Arkansas is going to be you keep them on your radar. They're going to be knocking off some teams in the West.
Listen,
what have I been saying this whole year?
We have
Sam Pittman's going to get it together. And if
they
Arkansas
showed me something that first game last year when we went to Fayetteville, and they come off that awful season, and here's your first-year head coach, and Georgia's supposed to be this, and Georgia's supposed to be that, and they punched us right squarely in the nose. Now we pulled out the win, but nobody thought it would look like that, and I thought, Arkansas has done found some motivation.
Yeah, you're sticking around.
If Arkansas, this is Arkansas's main problem. They need to give Pittman some time. You give that boy 6 years.
Oh, yeah.
You give that boy 6 years, and if year 6 they're not smashing A&M or LSU in the mouth at least once every other year, it might be time to let him go. But Arkansas is going to have something with Sam Pittman. He's a dang good coach. He can recruit like a son of a gun, and he comes from Georgia, and Georgia's known to be good. Now they choke, but
okay. Speaking of which, let's go back here to this schedule, and I'm comfortable saying 5-1 in the first half of the season.
I like that.
You like 5-1?
I can agree with that. I can get behind that.
You do get Alabama at College Station. You don't think it's going to matter?
And I say the only way we're going to beat Alabama is if Haynes King
is that dude.
Is that guy? If he's
what if he has a coming to Johnny Manziel moment?
If he's got that Johnny Manziel moment, I'm glad you said that. If he's got that Manziel talent, then you're going to be seeing Alabama struggle against A&M. But I just don't see it happening this year. Not this year. Not with a new line. And I mean, Bama's too strong on defense. You're talking about last year, Bama had one of the greatest teams that I've seen in the modern era, BCS / football playoff, talent-wise. Okay, I just don't see us beating Bama unless Haynes King is that guy and makes it happen.
Okay, so let's look at the back half. Following Alabama, you got Missouri. Now you said there was some carryover from the Little Ten, right? Missouri, there's some old beef there. They give you guys trouble, huh? They play hard against you, et cetera, right?
Missouri is a wild card for A&M. They're kind of like Arkansas, okay? I think they're a little bit less consistent than Arkansas against A&M, But Missouri, once they have our number, they can smash us in the face, and there's no doubt about that. And
this man said Arkansas, or not Arkansas, but Missouri. This man said Missouri was the second best team in the East. Just came out and said it like that.
Who said this?
This guy here, the guy sitting above your head.
And who does he believe is the best team in the East?
Georgia, no doubt.
Followed by Missouri.
He said Missouri is the second best team in the East. That's what he said.
I think they
I
have.
wish we could dig into that. I know we got to keep moving the schedule, but I'd like to know why. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm just curious.
This is what I think about Missouri. Missouri is one of those teams that I said it earlier, they beat teams they shouldn't and they lose to teams they shouldn't. Okay. I think they could beat Florida. They could straight up and go and wreck Florida. Okay. And then the next week, they're going to lose to Tennessee or Kentucky. You know, Missouri has KT Jeezy's not too happy with what I said about Georgia choking. At least they can make the playoffs. A&M can't. Hello.
Okay. They gave you one back. There you go.
I agree with Robert Reynolds. Watch out for Missouri. They're kind of. If I had to pick two teams. This is 4, but 2 teams. One in the SEC West and one in the SEC East to watch out for. It'd be Arkansas and Missouri.
Okay. I think we touched on that when we had the Florida when Nathan was on. I said, listen, Missouri or Kentucky, pick one. You losing to one of them, not both. Yep. Now he picked Kentucky. I think Mitch and I leaned that way, but I came back at the end and I hesitantly said, I mean Missouri.
Let me ask you this. As 2 Georgia boys. If you had to make a bet for a team to beat Georgia, who would it be? Florida or Missouri?
This coming season?
This coming season.
The fact I have to sit here and hesitate, makes your point.
I mean, I think I would
just
ultimately
come right out and say, "Oh, it's Florida." No,
I think I would ultimately settle on Florida.
But I got to think about it.
But I got to think about it.
Yeah. But I got to think about it enforces what you're saying. Like Missouri's just.
And the only reason why I say Missouri's more of a threat to Georgia than Florida is because Georgia's going to come out and smack Florida in the mouth after what happened last year. Georgia wants all that smoke. Georgia can go 4-8, but they're going to beat Florida. All right, that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But back to A&M's schedule.
Dissension in the ranks here.
But back to A&M's schedule, I thoroughly believe that the back half of our schedule is going to be
problematic.
It's going to be questionable.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because we start out in Missouri. If we go to Missouri and lose, that is the first on the road SEC game. I don't consider that Arkansas game. It's a neutral game, but it plays in both of our favor for Arkansas and A&M. That's our first SEC road game. If we lose that, A&M's going to crumble. Okay. A&M's known to start out 5-0, 6-0.
Yes, I remember those Kevin Sumlin years. That would always be the case.
Back half of the season, we fall apart. Last year, though, Jimbo turned it around. I'll say Jimbo got better. He had the team get better as it went on rather than getting worse. South Carolina, I think we can beat them. I mean, I'm not sold that we can beat them.
I'm sold that you can beat them.
I'm sold that you and Ducati and I can all 3 get together and beat South Carolina.
Caleb, if you hike the ball and Mitch, you play tight end and I just throw the ball up in the air, we're going to beat South Carolina.
And y'all are talking to an A&M fan who's a little bit biased. I got that Aggie syndrome, okay? They call it Aggie syndrome because we expect the worst and we're happy for the best. Okay.
Are you sure you're not a Georgia fan? Jeez.
I think we might be related as far as teams.
No, and you got to remember, see, I'm finna be 25 years old. So when I was growing up, A&M was we would just wanted to, score against Oklahoma. That was hey, right. That's all I wanted.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I got to ask you something about that before we sign off. Keep that in mind.
Well, let's try to focus in on these third series of 3 teams here: Missouri, South Carolina, and Auburn. I frankly think that A&M should win all 3 of those games.
I'm comfortable saying 3-0 in that stretch.
But
2-1. Either we're going to lose to Missouri or we're going to lose to Auburn.
Okay.
Don't say that.
Just,
I hate to hear it. So, but you think 2-1 there. All right. I feel like 3-0. You like 2-1 there. All right. Going into the last 3 games of the season, though, thank God for Prairie View A&M, right? Like,
this is where I got y'all at 1 and 2, baby.
Everybody needs a cupcake in their life. Okay.
Well, I feel like that. I told Matt the other day. I said, listen, I feel like that A&M is going to be 10-2 this season. I like losses to Alabama and a loss to either Ole Miss or LSU. Now, the Ole Miss one gives me pause because you got to play Auburn and Ole Miss back to back, and it's hard to prepare for 2 teams like that. So, and Ole Miss is going to be kind of an electric team. We know what they're all about. The lane train, etc. Right. So I feel like that. That Ole Miss is going to give a lot of people everything they want and then some, right?
Yeah.
But that last game of the year against LSU, it's going to be a matter. It's who has gelled the most, because LSU has kind of got some question marks hanging over their heads as well, and so, but it's the end of the season.
And we're playing in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, and also tough, right? Night game in Baton Rouge.
That last 3 block right there. We're going to play in Mississippi after a tough Auburn game. I believe. I think the latter half of that schedule is going to tire us out. Okay, I think our O-line, even if we have it together, I think they're going to be tired, exhausted. You're playing against SEC teams. This is they're strong. They beat you up.
Mm-hmm. Don't catch no injuries. You ain't got room for them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Ole Miss we lose to, and I think LSU we lose to. My expectations for this year are going to be 8-4 in the regular season.
Wow.
I'll be happy with the 8-4, and I'll expect a 7-6 with a bowl loss. 7-5 regular season. I'll expect 8-4, but our best case scenario, I know Mitch was saying we go 10-2. That's my best case scenario. Some professionals have them going undefeated, but there's too many questions in the air as far as our starting quarterback situation and our offensive line. Defensively, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna make it happen. But if you can't score points, I will say this defensively. There's some stuff I wrote down. So we're losing 2. Those 2 players accounted for less than 19% of the tackles, right? Mm-hmm. And they only had 1 of 14 turnovers.
Oh.
So are they valuable?
You got some. They're clearly they're valuable, but you have production coming back.
We have it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's spread out. It's very, very spread out as far as on the defense.
Yeah, we know what you mean by that. That's a Georgia hallmark, the no-name defense, right?
And replacing them, we get 13 of our 15 top tacklers back. Okay, so you take the 15 top tackles, we get 13 of those players back. So I'm pretty stoked about the defense. Offense is where I'm saying that we're going to go 9-4 with a bowl win, and we'll be blessed with a bowl win. Okay,
so which is a greater concern to you? The question that surrounds the quarterback position, or the question that surrounds the offensive line group?
Offensive line, no doubt. And I say that because A&M, we've been picking up quarterback recruits. We've got 4 stars there, 5 stars there at quarterback. That can make it happen.
So what you're saying is that if the offensive line question is answered, somebody will play quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. I think quarterback will be okay. They might struggle because they're young. They're not used to playing in Baton Rouge or playing against a tough Bama defense. Mm-hmm. But I think if you had to be more worry about the offensive line, because we don't have the depth that we once had on offensive line. Yeah, remember we had Luke Jockle, Jake Matthews, and the Matthews brother. We actually have his brother coming in as a center. They always put out good breed. Kevin Matthews used to play line for Tennessee, I think, or Tennessee Titans or the Oilers. Maybe I don't know how old he is, but His sons and his nephews are putting out for A&M right now. Before we sign off and everything, or there's a recruit that just gained his 5th star. Quarterback, 5-star quarterback commit, Connor Wigman. Okay. I'm sold on this guy.
You said he's a quarterback for 2022?
Yeah. He's a quarterback for 2022. Earlier, I was talking to Caleb about it, or KTG. I was talking to Caleb Whitaker about it. I wasn't sold on this guy, but I went and watched his film and his tape, looked at the stats. I was under the impression that he got his 5th star because he was getting that Bama, what I call it? He's getting that Bama treatment. So because this guy was committed to A&M, they were trying to hype A&M up. He got his 5th star so that, you know how if you got a 4-star that commits to Bama, boom, he's 5-star just like that. That's the joke I make with Bama. But no, Connor Wigman, he deserves every bit of that 5-star. After I went and watched his tape, I watched about an hour and a half of his tape earlier today. In 2019, he had a 63% completion rate percentage, and he threw for 2,500 yards. On 2020, he had a 62% completion percentage, and he threw for 3,800 yards.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and he's playing in 6A football down here in Texas. He's going to the playoffs.
He basically turned from Jake Fromm to JT Daniels in a year and didn't lose the percentage.
Yeah, and those are the strides that he's been able to make. He threw for a lot more, mind you. They gave him the ball a lot. I mean, they let him air it out a lot more. Yeah. But he's going to be one to watch in 2025, 2024. If Haynes King, whoever our starter is this year, once he leaves, you need to remember the name Connor Wigman, because he's probably going to, more than likely, he's going to be our starting quarterback.
Okay. Sounds good. Hey, man. Well, I guess, that's all I got for
I got a question. I got to ask.
If you got a question,
this is A&M football related, but a little off topic from what we've been talking about. Do you miss your annual rivalry with the Longhorns?
Good question.
I say yes, only because I want to smack them in the mouth and shut them up.
There you go.
I say no because there's just so much damn drama. Okay, I don't know if you can cuss on stream, but Texas.
You just did.
Texas is overrated. I mean, I don't know how you can push out a 7-4 regular season and still be ranked in the top 25.
They can.
It's USC, Notre Dame, and Texas. Okay,
oh man, we must be sharing some brain sets. There's the unholy three. The unholy three is USC, Oklahoma, Ohio State. If they go 1-20, the media is ready to give them the national championship.
Yeah. Hey, one more thing I'll say about A&M before we log off is their football power index is 6th in the nation. So their strength schedule's up there. Their FPI is pretty up there because of our returning defense. It's A&M's going to be a team to look out for. Don't be surprised if we knock off LSU, but we lose to both Mississippi teams and Missouri. That's how I think our year's going to go. I'm excited for it. I hope that we can get the quarterback situation lined up and the offensive line situation lined up. Our receivers, we got 2 down, Chapman and Weidermeyer. If we get them figured out, we're going to be all right. We're going to have an A&M year. Okay, but it ain't going to be nothing like last year.
So before we go, let's just recap here. You said 8-4.
8-4 regular season.
All right, Matt,
expectation. That's my expectation. If we have anything less than that, man,
I'm gonna say he sold me on 8-4 when he explained he explained their troubles with Missouri and/or Auburn, because Auburn's got that good old Jordan Hare Stadium luck, but they can also sometimes go out to the West Coast and beat who they beat. Oregon.
And only reason why I say that is because A&M's been inconsistent in the SEC ever since they got in the SNC. They'll knock off a team like Bama one year and then get smacked in the mouth by Auburn the next. It really depends on what Jimbo does with this lineman situation and with his quarterback situation. If he can get figured out, hey, we might just be playing for a conference championship against Georgia.
Well,
Okay.
the road will go through UGA. Mitch, after A&M tonight, who do we have left to talk about?
I believe Bama.
That's
I believe
it.
we're
Final
down
boss.
to Bama.
Final boss of the game.
So
next week.
let's just tell the people this. This weekend is G Day. The spring game is for Georgia this weekend. So next week, Matt and I are going to recap that, and then we will do the Bama capsule the following week.
I think we should bring everybody on. Everybody dogpile on Bama. Say whatever you want to say in whatever form you want to say it. Just have like a whole screen full of people, and then I'll bring my cousin on and we can gang up on him.
Hey, what's the quarterback situation looking like for Bama?
Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was potentially going to start over Mac Jones this year. There was a big, there was the question mark there, and then Mac Jones got it.
They ain't gonna have Najee, but Bryce Young apparently is the truth. But it's Bama. We're not. Let's just stop.
Bama
they'll be back.
Bama can run the ball or they can throw the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, they've shown that. But I appreciate y'all guys having me on the show.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I really appreciate that too, Caleb. I will say that I'm not sold on 8-4, but my 10-2 started to look a lot like 9-3. The more y'all talked.
Boy, there's a lot of 9-3 teams.
I know, that's what I said. I didn't want to say it, but here's the thing. I'll say this. There's two questions.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you 8-4 with a bowl win, right? Because it's going to be a lower bowl, or 9-3 with a bowl loss. So either way, they're going to be 9-4. In my eyes.
9-4. Okay. Yeah. All right. So here's what I'm thinking. There's two questions. There's the offensive line question. There's the quarterback question. If both questions are answered, 10-2. If only one question is answered, 9-3. If neither question is answered, 8-4.
I'll tell you, if you answer both those questions, you'd be looking at either 11-2 or 12-1 A&M.
We'll be seeing y'all in Atlanta. You answer both them questions.
All right. So I'm going to say that Jimbo's good enough to answer one question. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. I don't know which question it'll be. He'll answer one, and so therefore I will go with 9-3. That'll be my final word on it.
I say Jimbo's good enough to answer the quarterback situation. Just the depth. If you go back and look at the recruiting that A&M has had on the line, the offensive line, the past few years, we get 1 or 2 4-stars, and then all those guys are leaving now. It's just that's my biggest concern. I don't.
Oh, we lost him.
Did he leave?
No, I think he dropped. Oh dang! Hey,
I was going to tell him we got some offensive linemen we could probably lend you for a game or two because we got plenty on the sideline. Talk about Tate Ratledge.
Listen,
Tate Ratledge is bringing the mullet back.
Oh wait, look at here. Here he is. Hey, Caleb.
Whoop.
Sorry about that, man. I don't know what happened. I guess your connection blinked on you or something. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. All right, so anyway, we're getting ready to wrap up here. So before we go, anything you want to any shout outs you want to give to these people out here?
Go ahead and shout out Robert Reynolds. I know he's I see his name either pop up in Caleb's stream all the time or in y'all's stream all the time. Suggs, he's always in y'all's stream and the field of streams. I think Mitch said y'all went to school with him.
Yeah, Stokes was at Valdosta State when Matt and I were there.
Yeah.
And Caleb Whitaker, KTGZ, KTG13 TV.
Yeah, man. All right, cool. Well, I got something for the people at home here. Before I forget that yeah. So make the toys. You got to play with them, right? All right. So there it is. Make sure you subscribe, people. Share these videos, like them, comment, all that good stuff here. We had quite a lot of participation tonight in the chat and everything. Thank you, Caleb, for stopping by. Josh, Nick, Robert, whoever I'm missing back here. Thank you all for stopping by and leaving comments. I'm out, boys. That's all I got for the evening. We'll do it again
on stream, guys.
Yeah, man. We'll do it again sooner rather than later, probably, Caleb. But anyway, you take care, buddy. We'll see you next time. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
All right, Matt. Any last words?
Again, I think with A&M, just to wrap on them, I think it's going to be a feast or famine. Either things are going to click and they're going to be better than everybody thought they were going to be, or what he said is going to be true, and they're going to fall into the doldrums of mediocrity. And I got to say, they sound very similar to 2020 Georgia, where we had that vaunted defense, but our offense couldn't tie their shoes.
The offense was pew, 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 pew.
I mean, Jimbo's got a better offensive mind than Chris.
And there goes Matt. Hey, folks, I'm out of here. We'll talk with you later. Peace.